Hi my friends, I am going to share with you my March currently inked. So this month I really wanted some bright, cool toned, springy colors, like really bright colors. So that's what I did. And the first one is in this TWSBI Eco in transparent purple. I haven't used this pen in so long, but every time I do, I'm like, why have I waited so long to use this? It's such a great writer. And this is like the perfect match for this pen. And it is the Rohrer and Klingner Cassia. It's getting so hard to write on this side of the notebook because it's so fluffy. But anyways, this is such a bright, happy purple. This is the first time I've inked it up, and it feels very wet. And it's just a pleasure to write with. I'm having a lot of fun. Like this, just when I write with this, it's just such a, it's a lovely purple. It just brings me joy. I don't know why. The next one is the TWSBI Diamond Iris. And this has a journalized ink in it. Towards the end of February, I had decided to unink a few of the pens that I had inked and then re-ink them with something else. And this was one of the ones that I did that with. This had another journalized ink in it that was also a shimmer ink, and it did really well with it. And so I wanted to try it with this one because I've had this ink in other pens before. I think, well, maybe just the TWSBI Eco with a medium nib. And it wasn't as like, I don't know, it just came out, it was too broad of a nib, I think, for this. And so this is the perfect pen for this ink. And I just love the flow of this fine nib and the way that the shimmer comes out. After I'm done with this ink, I'm excited to try a different shimmer ink because I want to see if all shimmer inks just perform this well or if it's just the journalized ones, because the journalized shimmer inks have a different consistency than other shimmer inks. It's more watery. But anyways, I'm loving this combination. It is so pretty. Wonder if you can see a little bit of the shimmer there. Yeah, it's just so pretty. It's been rainy today and the sun and the clouds are doing like some weird things. So hopefully the lighting is okay. I turned on all the lights, so I'm hoping it's not too dark. It looks a little bit dark in my camera. But anyways, the next pen is the Moonman or Moonman A1. I had this inked up last month with a scented ink from the 2023 Diamond InkVent, and it worked so well with the wetness of those scented inks that I wanted to try the other scented ink from the InkVent, which was Sweet Dreams. And I also really wanted like a really cute baby pink like this. But I did add a little bit of Cashmere Rose also from the InkVent because I don't really love the tone of Sweet Dreams just by itself. And the combo of these two, I really love the pink that this produced. So yeah, the Sweet Dreams I don't think is as wet as the Cinnabon was, but that could just be that it's a combo. So, but yeah, I am enjoying this one as well. It has a fine nib. And yeah, it's not as wet, but it's really fun to write with, and I like that color pink. And then this is on the opposite end of the wetness spectrum. This is really, really wet. And that is because it is a Pilot ink, which are just so lovely and perfect to write with in almost any pen, I think. This is Sutsuji, which is one that Nicole had sent to me in an ink trade. And I think this is my very favorite hot pink. It's just the perfect tone of hot pink, in my opinion. And in this nib, even though it's a fine nib, it just glides across the paper. It's just so lubricated and lovely, and I'm having a lot of fun with this one too. So I had said in my last, or one of my last videos, that I was going to pick inks at random this month and that I was going to do this kind of spring color next month. But I changed my mind because the inks that I picked I did not like, except for two, and this was one of them. So this is a Jinhao 82 that I Frankensteined with a couple of other Jinhao 82 parts. But this was the Colorverse Tango that Gail had sent to me, but it was a deeper, darker orange, and I wanted a lighter, brighter orange, so I added Diamine Bucks Fizz, which is an ink that I have not been able to get to work in any pens. It's too light for me. But it has like a really nice, delicate shimmer. It's not too shimmery. And I just think it lightened up the Tango just enough to be like this orange that I really wanted, this happy, bright orange. So yeah, I'm excited to get to use this one. I've been using it for probably about a week now and really enjoying it. It's very wet. It's very pleasant to write with. It has the medium goulet nib in it. So yeah. Gosh, I wish it was like brighter. I feel like it looks dark. I hope it doesn't. Sometimes it looks darker to me while I'm filming, and then when I go back to like look at the video after, it's better. So I'm hoping that that's the case. But all right, the next one is the TWSBI Eco Clear with a medium nib, and this is one of the ones I inked up like 3/4 of the way through February, and this is Diamine Tranquility, also from the InkVent. And I've had this in another pen. I think it was the Diamond TWSBI with a medium nib, and I just did not like it as much as the TWSBI Eco medium nib that it's in now. So it's so funny how like you can have the TWSBI pens with the same size nib and it just does not feel the same. And it doesn't write the same. Like, I'm not saying it's a consistency issue. It's just probably because the diamond was rose gold as well. Like the coated nibs they feel a little bit different. But yeah, I just really love it in this pen. I think it's perfect in here. The next one is this Jinhao Yellow Sparkly pen. This is the first time I've ever used this pen. And this was the other ink that I pulled at random. But it is an ink that I have used many times before. And it is Monteverde Lion from their Jungle series, which is just the brightest, happiest purple. I think this is, or purple, yellow. I think this is my favorite yellow. I like a lot of yellows, but a lot of the ones that I like tend to lean more orange or more amber. And this is just a straight up like bright yellow, and it's just such a happy color. So yeah, I used up the last of my sample, which I've had for a long time, with this fill, and I'm really tempted to buy a bottle because I just love it so much. It's really wet. It writes really well. It's legible, obviously. It's just a happy color. I just really enjoy it. All right, now I'm thinking, am I zoomed in too much? Let me go out a little bit more. Okay, the next one is one of the ones that I had inked up at the end of February. Again, I had inked up just a tiny, tiny bit, and then I loved it so much that I was using it all the time, and I started to run out. There was just like drops left in here, so I just refilled it, as you can see by my fingers. And this is Ferris Wheel Press, Edwards Gardens. It's writing really wet right now because, like I said, I just dipped it in to fill it. So it doesn't normally come out this broad looking. But I definitely like this better than Emerald of Chivor. I think that they're similar inks, but this just comes out more dark and saturated. I just like it better. So I think if I were to buy a bottle of one, it would definitely be this one. And yeah, such a pretty color. Really, really loving that. It started to rain again. Okay, the next one is one of my Pilot Kakunos, and this is an ink that I am also trying for the first time, and it is Diamond Early Dusk. This is from InkVent 2023, and I wouldn't say that it's a dry ink by any means, but it definitely doesn't feel as wet as other inks. I really like this tone of blue. I wanted like a blue sky, kind of like a spring blue sky kind of blue. And this really fits that for me. It looks a little bit darker in the camera than it does to my eyes. So it's, yeah, it's just like this perfect blue sky color. And I like the tone of this blue too. It almost reminds me of Diamond Prussian blue. It's a little bit more of a muted blue than others that I've seen. So yeah, I'm excited to be using this one. I have written with it for like longer writing sessions, and it does seem to get lighter the more you write, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's okay. It is what it is. So the next one is, I can't remember if I had this inked up last month or not. I think I might have. This is Ferris Wheel Press Blushing Mushroom. And it's so wonderful in this TWSBI Diamond medium nib. I've had this in a couple other pens, and this is by far my favorite. I feel like this pen really brings out the actual color of it, because it is such a light ink that sometimes it can be too light in other pens, and it also shows the shimmer very well. So yes. So these are like my springy colors, and then the rest of them are more jewel toned, darker colors, because I could not have those for some reason. I had to either leave them inked or ink up some of them just because I love them. But so yeah, this is going to be like my springtime side, and this is going to look like fall. But this is the Esterbrook SD. And it has Lami Safari, which I am really enjoying this tone of green. I think it's so pretty. And it flows really well, and I'm enjoying it in the SD. Okay, what do I need to do? Maybe I'll move it like this and zoom in a little bit. Next is another one that I had inked up at the end of February. This is the TWSBI Diamond 580 with an extra fine nib, and this is an ink that's also from the Jungle series that the lion is from. And it's Chameleon, and I actually have a bottle of this. It is like in the pen you can see it's like a wine looking color. On the paper it comes out like nearly black, especially once it dries down a little bit more. Sometimes when I'm looking at it, I feel like it looks brown. Sometimes it's like a purple black, but either way, it's performs so well in this pen because this is an extra fine nib, and I've had a hard time finding inks that feel wet enough in this nib for my preference, and this just is so perfect. I think I said this in my last video too, but I think this might be like a permanent inking for me because I just love the way that they are together so much. And I feel like it's a good color to just always have inked if you need like a darker ink or just something a little more professional or classy, I guess. I don't know. But this is the Lami Safari with a cursive nib, and it is inked with Diamond Oxblood. I have not inked up Oxblood in so long. This was, I think, the first bottle of ink that I purchased, and I loved it so much. And then I just kept getting more and more inks that I haven't really used it. And that's a shame because it's a beautiful ink. So I thought, yes, I need to ink it this month. And I like it. I like the combo of this pen and ink. It's writing really well. It is a very wet ink. Just a reliable ink, honestly. And yeah, I love that color of red too. And I didn't have a red inked up last month, so I was excited to get a red this month. So this is the Robert Auster Cafe Crema in the TWSBI Eco Smoke Rose Gold. And you can see that it's almost gone. I had this ink last month and I was going to unink it and put something else in here, but honestly, I just love this color and the combo too much. And so I think I might even re-ink it once it really runs out. If it really runs out. So yeah, this is like, to me, this is a yellow brown, and oh, I just love this color. And I love these colors together. Aren't they so pretty? And this is a fine nib. Yeah, I'm seriously obsessed with this combo, and I feel like it looks so pretty in that pen too. It's just so nice. Another one that you've seen for the last 3 months now. I think I inked this. Yeah, I inked this in December. And it still hasn't run out, but it is getting closer. I'm really tempted to ink this up again, but I probably won't. But it's such a good color. It's Diamond Seasons Greetings. The perfect dark teal, in my opinion. And it's in the Kaveco Sport with a fine nib, which to me writes more like a medium. I really love this nib. I love this pen. Everything that I put in here does well. And yeah, loving that a lot. The next one is my black TWSBI Eco, just the regular one. And this has an extra fine nib, and I combined KWZ brown pink, which is actually, it's just a purple. I don't know why they named it that. Plus Spadina Rose. So I had mostly Spadina Rose in here, and then I added probably a third of this mixture is KWZ brown pink to wetten this up, because everything that I was trying this in wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. So this does look a lot like Spadina Rose, but with a purple tint, and I really like it. It's definitely wet enough to be in this extra fine nib, but not too wet. And it's a pretty color. Oops, contaminated that one. It is a pretty color, and I'm enjoying it. Okay, this one I just inked up, and so I don't know. I have not even written with it yet. This is the TWSBI Diamond White Rose Gold, and it had last month Tacha Ume Murasaki in it, and it had like just drops left. And I was going to clean it out, but then I was laying in bed last night thinking, I wonder what that would look like if I combined it with Ferris Wheel Press Queen Allium, if I just didn't like clean out the pen and just put Ferris Wheel Press Queen Allium in it. So that's what we're going to find out. That's what I just did. I put Queen Allium in a separate vial so that I wouldn't contaminate the bottle. And then I just dipped the pen. So that's pretty. It does look still a lot like Tacha Ume Murasaki, that brownish purple. It's definitely lighter in person. Okay, so this is Ferris Wheel Press. Oh, it's wet too, but I did just fill it, so it probably won't feel that wet the whole time. Queen Allium, and I have not actually inked up Queen Allium yet. Plus Tacha Ume Murasaki, and this is the TWSBI Diamond with a medium nib. That's pretty. But yeah, it does look like the Tatcha Ume Murasaki a lot. Like a lot. And it is mostly Queen Allium, so that's funny. It's looking so much darker on camera. I wish my lighting was better. Hello. Yeah, it's actually pretty similar to this combo, maybe just a little bit more brown. It's pretty though, and with that shimmer, I'm sure it's going to be really fun to write with. I wonder if we can see the shimmer. You can in the swatch a little bit. Okay, last one is also a carryover. This is the J. Herbin Bleu de Profondeur. That was just, I'm not good at French. I've never spoken French in my life. Okay, this is the Pilot Kakuno, the medium nib. So yeah, I've had this one inked. It is really good. I like it a lot. I like the deep dark blue tone that it is. It's very wet in this pen. I always had heard that J. Herbin inks were dry, but so far in my experience, they're not. At least the ones that I've tried. This one only has a tiny bit left, so I'm just going to write it till it's dry, but I am really enjoying it. And it's just nice to have a dark blue ink in the mix as well. So let me zoom out. So which team are you on? Are you on the bright spring colors team, or are you on these more jewel toned, darker, moodier colors? I love them both. I think that they're both so pretty. I'm excited to use all of these pens. I've been using all of these pens. They've all been inked up for at least a week, except for this one that I just inked. And yeah, they're going really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this wasn't too dark. Please let me know. Or maybe don't, because then I'll just be sad. But yeah, I hope that you were able to see everything really well and that you enjoyed seeing my currently inked inks this month and pens, even though I use the same pens all the time. Anyways, I'm rambling. Have a wonderful day. I hope you have a very beautiful and happy March, and I'll talk to you soon.